What's going on, guys? It is your boy here, of course, the combat consultant, the soundboard god, Jacob Cooperman, and I want to talk in a long and unedited format today about the Alex Pereira allegations. There's this woman that came out online. She's an OnlyFans model, and she is alleging some serious things about Alex Pereira, saying that he raped her essentially, and that there was a lot of unwanted, forceful advances that took place on the night of. They say that him and his friend Mel, who was his translator and also a professional fighter, coerced her and her friend to come spend the night with them. The undertoning there was that there was a little bit of alcohol involved and that she was made to do something she really didn't want to. And there's so many extenuating circumstances around this. Her friend and her had unfollowed each other after the event. There's now evidence coming out that she posted, but that's kind of here nor there, right? Because that's hard to prove on the text. We don't have names, we don't have dates, any of that stuff. All we have is some photos, her testimony, and some tertiary evidence that would throw a lot of stones in her allegations as well. So listen, I'm not one, and I don't think I should be, being that I'm a combat sports channel. I'm not the guy to be like, well, this happened or this didn't happen conclusively. I think that we need to let this play out. Alex Pereira has not yet, as of this recording, came out and made a statement on the matter. It's just been this girl's allegations. And again, some of that loose evidence that we have, which are text messages with no names, as well as a few pictures with Alex and her to back her side of the story up. Really, I don't want to say either party is guilty or not guilty. I will say those people that are saying because she's an OnlyFans model would mean that she'd automatically lie and that Alex Pereira is this big UFC athlete, and so there's no way that he could possibly ever take advantage of anyone. I don't necessarily agree with that. I have to be honest. I think if nothing else, she talks about the trauma that she's went through, which if you're doing OnlyFans or any type of sex work, it's safe to say that you've been through some trauma, and that's not to be reductive of them, but you don't do that stuff if you've had a well-adjusted upbringing. And she does mention, you know, kind of falling back and playing that role that she has so many times where guys have taken advantage of her, and now she's in there with Alex Pereira and it's the same thing. I don't necessarily think, and take away Alex Pereira from the equation, if it was anyone else, I don't think that that's that unbelievable that this type of stuff would keep happening to her, especially because of the societal tag that she has on her. Granted that she has cultivated it, being an OnlyFans model, that guys would want to try and take advantage. I'm not saying it's right, but this thing where it's like we're saying that because she's an OnlyFans model, that automatically means that she's lying, or that there's no way that anyone could possibly take advantage of her because she's just this sex demon, I think is a little bit silly. With that being said, though, what she has been coming out and saying and the evidence that she's providing does not really seem that concrete. First off, there's her not knowing who Alex Pereira is, even though she had went to the previous UFC. And let's just say even that her friend that comes from a kickboxing background knew enough about the UFC to invite this girl to the event. At the very least, I assume that there would have been a briefing before these two went out with this group of guys. Like, to sit here and think that there wouldn't be a discussion between these two women saying, okay, this is a fighter, Mel. He is a translator to one of, if not the biggest star in the UFC right now, Alex Pereira. To think that her friend wouldn't fill this girl in on information, I think, again, is a little bit unbelievable. So that's the first point of contention that I had with her story. And another point of contention that the Weasel does a really good job of bringing up is the fact that neither of these women really seem to have saw, or at least they allege they never saw, the signs that either of these guys were wanting sex, especially in some of the text messages. When you look at the text messages from Mel, it says, bring a friend for Alex Pereira. That, widely across the board, is known by many people to mean like, hey, we're trying to have a good night tonight. I find you attractive. You find me attractive. But bring a friend for my friend who you guys find each other mutually attractive and you want to do something. Now, I'm not saying it's not slimy, sleazebaggish, or any of that stuff, but that is, if you are that girl, I think you have to have a keen awareness of the situation you're walking into, especially as we go on in the story and there's alcohol being offered. That's another thing. Alex Pereira doesn't drink, but he's offering alcohol to girls. I could see it happening, but again, a little bit questionable that he would put himself in that environment. But if we're going off of the idea that what all they're saying is true, the fact that there is multiple signs like Alex Pereira forcing himself onto her earlier in the day at the gym, and she continues to kind of stick with him over the course of the night, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I mean, I get it. These guys are rich. These guys are famous, successful. Maybe you're hoping that you'd end up in some expensive nightclub. But I think if you're this girl, you also have to have a key awareness that these guys are going to expect something at the end of the night. And that's not fair, but that's the way it is. Again, Mel seems like from the start was trying to set him and his friend up. If you don't want to be in a situation where something is expected of you by the end of the night, then I get that. Because again, I'm not necessarily agreeing with that. I think it sucks that people can't just have a nice time time. But if you're ever in that situation, then it's on you to get out of there. There's several key points over the course of the story where I felt that those women could have made their exit and it would have been over. The night would have been over. None of this would have happened. Allegedly, again, we don't know. And again, this could all just be a bunch of hullabaloo. But yeah, structurally, the story doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And it seems like the UFC, again, as of the recording of this video, has not yet made an investigation into these claims. So all we have to go off of is what this girl is alleging. It sucks because if this girl is telling the truth, Alex Pereira absolutely deserves jail time. I think right now she's going to get a lot of hate. Alex Pereira is a very favorably looked upon guy, and there's a stigma around OF models is that they're automatically just whores and they can't ever be taken advantage of sexually or just want to take things slow. I think the onus should be on either party to prove their innocence. And on the other end, if this is a ploy for her to get more followers or more attention or whatever it is, then she should absolutely go to jail for trying to ruin this guy's reputation, or he should sue her for all she's worth. She also claims that she has footage for everything she's alleged in her 10-minute video and subsequent 2 or 4 minute videos that she's made after the fact. My whole thing is one, you got to go to the police with this stuff. And two, I think if you are telling the truth and you are trying to get more awareness and more eyes on this, you should want to release the footage in accordance with the video. And again, as of the recording of this video, that hasn't been done yet. So we don't know anything. That's the problem. This story doesn't have a backbone outside of what this woman is saying. And I'm a big proponent again in these things should be looked into seriously. We should not just brush this girl off just because some of the points of her story don't make sense. I can't remember the last story I told that had all coherent points. But if you're this girl, you got to come more correct with more evidence. You are accusing someone of something that is disgusting. And I think just to say, oh yeah, I have all these videos, I can release them at any time. It reminds me of the whole Ryan Garcia thing where he talked about kids getting taken advantage of in a forest and just never release the videos. Okay, well, we know this is clearly an attention grab now. If she really wants to shirk the allegations that she is doing this for attention, she will drop the videos. She will give context. And maybe that will be the case. Maybe this video will be released. In just the luck I've had on YouTube, I'm going to release this and then 2 seconds later after it being released, there's going to be more evidence coming out. But I think that's her logical and evident next step. And for Alex Pereira, I think he needs to speak on this. Well, either way, I'm interested to see how this story kind of unravels over time. It smells like something that will go away rather soon. I don't think that this will be a story that's going to be around for a while, but do let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. It has been your boy, the combat consultant, the soundboard god, Jacob Cooperman, and I'll see you on the next one. Deuces.